Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons. Welcome to a Strange Eons radio mini episode, what we like to call short eons. That's Eric Morgan over there.
Hello.
That's Vanessa Williams over there.
Hello.
I'm Kelly Young. While we're still on lockdown, the point of these short episodes is to suggest to you something you can easily stream and watch at home, perhaps something you've never seen, perhaps something you've forgotten about, or maybe it's just something that deserves a rewatch. So we got to pay the bills first, and then we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
The Remco Movie Land Drive-In Theater is straight ahead. Here it is now, Betty. Today's double feature. Have Gun Will Travel and Heckle and Jekyll. It looks terrific, Jimmy. Drive right in and park. Let me show you how it works. Switch on the projector, turn the film knob, and you'll see 6 exciting still features. Have Gun Will Travel and Heckle and Jekyll. Captain Kangaroo and Dinky Duck. Mighty Mouse and Farmer Alfalfa. Gollywog, clear, big pictures. This Remco Movie Land Drive-In Theater has everything. 6 complete features. Its own giant screen, projection booth, marquee that changes, ticket window, and 6 beautiful cars. Be the first in your neighborhood to own and operate a Remco Movie Land Drive-In Theater. Only $5.98 at your favorite toy store. Remember, every boy wants a Remco toy. And so do girls.
And we are back. Hey, you guys, my pick this week is a little film that I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I love it. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Hey, what's up?
If we're gonna date, you may have to defeat my 7 evil exes.
You have 7 evil ex-boyfriends?
Bingo. Consider our fight begun.
And I have to fight...
Defeat.
Defeat your 7 evil exes?
Pretty much.
Prepare to die.
What?
What's up? How's life? He seems nice.
I want to take them apart.
We all have baggage.
Yeah, well, my baggage doesn't try and kill me every 5 minutes.
Scott Pilgrim versus the world.
Next time, we don't date the girl with 11 evil ex-boyfriends.
7.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Ooh. Yes, that's a good one.
It's great.
I love this film. It is streaming on Netflix right now. It's got a Rotten Tomatoes critics rating of 81% and audience of 84%, which surprised me because I thought when this came out that it was not very well liked.
It was a huge bomb.
Yeah, it didn't do well.
Yeah.
So, and I was really disappointed because I went and saw it and I walked out of there going, that was fresh and original. And aren't we always saying we want something fresh and original? And nobody went to see it for some reason. It was directed by Edgar Wright. It was based on Brian Lee O'Malley's comic book, which I loved. And it stars Michael Cera and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who I also both love. And except for a final ending that's a little unsatisfying because we all know he should have ended up with somebody else. It's a really, really great romantic comedy via video games movie.
Yeah, it feels very authentic. It's got so much energy. And I don't know, like Edgar Wright, in my mind, it would be hard for him to do wrong.
Yeah. I mean, and after this was when it was announced he would be taking over Ant-Man, and and then of course we know that is not what happened. He left Ant-Man halfway through that, and I was really bummed because watching Ant-Man, the movie, which I liked quite a bit, I saw a lot of things that I knew Edgar Wright would have just blown away everybody with.
I felt like there were little crumbs left behind from his stint involved.
Very much so.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with Edgar Wright, he's the guy behind Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, and I think World's End, which I didn't love. No, he didn't do Attack the Block.
Yeah,
he was in. I thought he was involved with it somehow.
Was he?
Directing it. But.
Okay, that surprises me. But anyway, one of my favorite directors, and that's my pick for this week.
Awesome. Well, I'll go ahead and jump on in. I also chose a film from Netflix. Have you guys seen a little movie called The Discovery?
Dr. Harper, why did it take you 6 months to address us? Where have you been?
It seems to me that I invited you here to my home.
We only received that invitation after the suicide toll had rapidly reached 1 million. Don't you think your discovery was just too dangerous to share with the world?
Isla!
How can you keep a discovery so vital to our existence a secret?
You proved the existence of an afterlife.
I prefer to call it a new plane of existence.
Do you feel responsible for all those people killing themselves?
We opened the door for these people. Now we have to show them what's behind it.
Okay, so this one I totally accidentally found way back, like 2 years ago when Netflix had very little sci-fi content, and I watched it all.
In the before times when we were allowed to walk outside whenever we wanted.
Yes. And Netflix cared a lot less about the amount of content that it had as compared to now. It's really interesting. It's a little sci-fi piece. It stars Rooney Mara, Jason Segel, and Robert Redford.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Really, really good casting, and actually works surprisingly well. Jason Segel in a sort of more serious dramatic roles. Pretty fun to watch. The plot is 2 years after the afterlife is scientifically proven, a man attempts to help a young woman break away from her dark past. Basically, it's a lot of fun because you're living in a world immediately where people believe that they understand what the afterlife is, and you get those sort of cults that pop up of like suicide and other people who are worshiping the scientist who figured it out, which is Robert Redford. And then you have Jason Segel, who becomes obsessed with this woman who I believe is the daughter of Robert Redford, and in that obsession finds out truths about the scientific proof of the afterlife that maybe it's not what it seems. It's just a really interesting, engaging, kind of a quieter sci-fi flick, but really, really well done. It's directed by Charlie McDowell, who hasn't done a ton of stuff. He did some TV episodes of, he did an episode or two of Legion. He did one of Tales of the Loop, which maybe it's worth seeing that one particular episode for. I'm not sure I will. But he did the one I love, which was a Sundance darling, starring Elizabeth Moss and Mark Duplass. Is super well acted, and Ted Danson, which I actually saw the one time I went to Sundance. So it's in good hands. But yeah, so you can check it out on Netflix. So if you're in the mood for something different, it's called it has a very like boring title, which is The Discovery, not to be confused with Star Trek's Discovery.
Yeah, it's one of those that doesn't really stick in your head real well as a title.
I've forgotten this title so many times, but the poster is Jason Segel's head with a bunch of stuff plugged into it. So,
all right, well, I went a little different here because this is off of a new streaming service called Quibi.
Oh.
Yeah, Quibi. And I was reading a little bit about it, and I don't know if it's phone only or if it's phone and tablet, but it's short episodes. Like you get 5 minutes or 10-minute episodes, and a new episode drops daily for them. What brought me to it was reading that Sam Raimi did one for one of the series called 50 States of Fright.
I think there's somebody out there.
He does the first episode in this series, and it's most of them run like 3 or 4 segments. So it's about 15 to 20 minutes for the whole short by the time it's done. And he did The Golden Arm, which was out of Michigan, apparently. And the next episode is about the giant ball of twine that's in, I think, Kansas. Both 2 I've watched so far have been very good. Top-notch talent, really strong acting, really strong writing, some pretty strong directing. Of course, Sam Raimi. Of course, that's going to be strong. So his is well done, and there's even, Raimi moments, although it's fairly straightforward until near the end. I would say dump into this one. It's I think $4.99 a month, but the first 3 months are free.
Right.
Now's the time.
You got plenty of time to get in on this, and it's got money behind it because it was founded by Jeffrey Katzenberger, and it shows. They're spending some money on these shorts. I've only watched the 50 States of Fright at this point, but I'm liking them a lot so far, and that will definitely keep you for a while because every day you got to watch a new 5 to 10 minute short.
I'm really glad you mentioned this because I've been meaning to jump on this. They also have Liam Hemsworth and Christoph Waltz in a version of The Most Dangerous Game that they're putting out in episodes.
I was scrolling through yesterday and I saw that one going, well, I know what I'm going to be watching.
So remind us, what's the name of the app again?
Quibi, Quibi. Gotten advertised all over the place, so you probably can find it.
Yeah, it's got a big push right now. They're figuring out that people are watching more and more often on their phones, which I find hard to do. But 10 years ago, you couldn't have told me that I would watch an entire movie on my computer screen, and I've done that so many times now.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird too because it's structured where you can watch them like
vertical,
this, and you can watch them like this,
horizontal.
And if you watch it like this, which I thought it was designed to be watched like this,
vertical.
I'd read. So I watched like the first couple episodes of The Golden Arm this way, and it looked perfectly fine. For some reason, I turned that and go, oh shit, there's more on the sides. But if you watch them, you can tell that when they were shooting this, they weren't so worried about what was on the sides.
Interesting.
It's definitely a center-centric shot.
Also super interesting that anybody who's listening to this podcast without video just heard you go, I watched it like this, and then I watched it like this. And you couldn't believe what I thought when I watched it like this.
That's right. It's 3 different ways I watched it on a phone. You figure out the third one on your own.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in just a couple more days for a regular episode, I believe.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, bye.
Bye.
Our podcast is recorded at Eric's house, and Vanessa's house, and Kelly's house, and is engineered and edited by Eric Morgret. Our theme music is Strange Aeons Part 1 by the band Nightshade, and is used with permission. Find Strange Aeons Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and wherever fine podcasts are found.